Hey folks, Nas here, back in my Abandoned Mode Permadeath guide series. I appreciate everybody being here. First, I want to thank everybody that's been coming over and watching my videos. You guys have been great in supporting me. Thank you so much. I also want to give a special thank you to everybody that's leaving comments on my videos. I love reading the comments. I love trying to respond, even trying to help when you've got questions and things like that. So thank you very much for, again, coming over, watching my videos and joining me in my journey, my No Man's Sky journey. This is absolutely heartwarming and great to see. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. But to the video. In today's video, what I kind of want to do is build a base. So when we originally started this series, excuse me, sir, thank you for protecting me. We landed here and I built this hodgepodge of a base. I've literally just been placing things as I need them and doing my particular upgrades. Of course, I've gone to expedition 16 and 17 with this particular save. So I've gotten the, different upgrades. I picked myself up a Sentinel ship, A class. It's not an S class, but it's definitely better than the C class bug that I did have when I first started the series and everything. But what I'd like to do is actually build a proper base before I start heading towards the center of the galaxy. But I don't know that I want to start it here. I kind of want to keep this location kind of as it is, just for nostalgic purposes. This is where we first landed. It is actually named, what is it, my first hut or something? I don't even remember what I named it now. Where's the, where did I put the computer? There it is, over there. What did I name this? Yeah, NASA's first hut. So that way it is indicated that this was my first build on this series. Now, we do have, or I do have, another location that is mine. And you can see I've been jumping to different areas and stuff, but you can see if I click my bases, your bases, not your bases, but my bases, but it doesn't say my bases, it says your bases. You can see I've got a portal base. Now, this is on a hot planet, an extreme hot planet, if I'm not mistaken. And I kind of want to build a proper base, but I do want to build it at this portal because I will potentially be using this portal more often than I would be using my first hut. So that's what I want to do today. I want to go to this location and build a better proper base with storage, with the refiners and stuff. Now I may come back here and take a few items only because of material purposes. I may not have I don't have a ton of stuff built up. Now, in the Exocraft, so my Minotaur right now is my active Exocraft. I do have, a little bit of carbon, which I don't know that I'm going to be using a ton of carbon today. Most of what I'm going to be building is going to be using ferrite and pure ferrite, because those are the building materials that I like to work with most of the time. However, I do have him loaded up quite a bit with condensed carbon. This is the most fuel efficient, or most efficient fuel to use in the Minotaur, since you can use, well, it just says organic materials right now because everything is low. Does this tell me something? Yeah, but there we go. So because it's 99%, it'll tell me everything that I can use. So I can use carbon, condensed carbon, and oxygen, but condensed carbon, as you see, it takes less condensed carbon than it would carbon. Less condensed carbon than it would carbon by 1/3, or actually by 2/3. It's down by 2/3. It only takes 1/3 of the amount. Now, oxygen takes about halfway between the two. So I've loaded him up with condensed carbon if we get into trouble and I do need to fight, say, sentinels, or if I need him to be fighting aggressive animals, because I don't know if the planet has aggressive animals on it. I don't think it does. but you never know. And if sentinels are around, which they, usually are, because I'm in permadeath, they're almost always around. I may mess up and do something to piss them off, which, isn't far-fetched for me. So let me gather a few more materials. One other thing, I'm actually starting to use the Exocrafts as storage. Oh, well, thank you for sliding in there, buddy. I appreciate that. But I'm trying to get in the Colossus. Now, my Colossus, you can see I've got him loaded up with ferrite dust and pure ferrite. Now, it's not a ton, but for permadeath it is, because the stack size is only 300. So I don't have a whole lot of magnetized ferrite. I'm probably going to have to produce some of that. Matter of fact, what I probably should do is go ahead and at least take materials for a couple of these refiners. Matter of fact, I'm going to take these two refiners, these two large refiners down, and I will take the materials with me so I can at least set those up there so I can refine some of the ferrite dust, because ferrite dust is pretty much on every planet, into the magnetized ferrite as I need it, because I just don't have a supply, a large supply of that. So I'm going to hit C, and then I'm going to face that. I'm going to hit X and X. Something that I'm going to go over real quick, just because it was on my mind. I saw somebody question what these little pause symbols mean. If you have a building item that has this little pause symbol, these two little lines up in the top left corner, then if you, on the keyboard, if you hit X to expand, you can actually see, as I'm hovering over the timber wall, down at the bottom of this tooltip, it says View Variants. That means that there's other variants of this item that you can use. And it's telling me to hit X. Now, if you're on console, you want to pay attention to what that says and hit that particular button. Because I'm not on console, I don't know what that button is. But if I hit X, you'll see that it expanded. And then it's giving me 4 different variants that I can use. Actually, it's 3. It's 3 variants. If you want to use the timber wall base, and that's the only style you want to use, you're going to click timber wall base. Same thing if you're going to click timber wall mid. And then obviously for timber wall top. Now, if you choose just timber wall, then when you place the first one, it'll be the base. If you stack it, like you're going to make multiple floors, if you stack it, then it's going to change to the next coordinating item. Let me see if I can show you real quick here. I don't have any carbon on me. That's great. Let me switch back to, because all my carbon is in the Minotaur. Let me switch back to the Minotaur. Hop out. Now, let me see if I can do it. I know, life support power is low. All right, so if I use the timber wall, yes, I have access to that. We're just going to place it out here. So this is the timber wall base. And then if we go up 1, it changes. So because this would be considered the top, it's going to automatically change to the top version. So if I place that, it's the top now. If I go 1 more, you notice that the one I just placed is no longer the top, it's the mid. Now, this should be the top. Now, you've got base, mid, and top, and that was all from using this option. If I expand that, whoops, I just shrank it. If I expand that and choose the mid wall, then I can come up here. I'm going to let the Minotaur get in my way because he wants to watch what I'm doing. All of those pieces are now the mid. You see the mid right here, right there in the middle? Those are all the mid. So that is how you use one style of wall, or you can let the game choose it for you. The top piece will always be the top piece. The base piece will always be the base piece. Just wanted to get that out of the way real quick. Let me gather my items, and then I'm going to head over to the new location, and we're going to get started building. Alrighty, I am at my portal base. We have clearly run out of power here. Now, with the base out of power, you can teleport to a location that has no power. You just can't teleport away from this location until you give it power. So we can actually go and give this power. However, I'm not going to do that. What I need to do, we literally have a storm starting. When I popped in, it told me there was a storm starting. So I'm going to kind of stay in my little protective hut. We are going to go into build mode. I need to have a safe location that I can stand in while I build, but I don't want to do it where I'm standing because I'm going to be building right here. I'm going to tear down all of this that is here and build someplace else. Now, what I do need to do is I need to summon in my Colossus. So let's step out here for a second. Yeah, you know, thermal protection falling. We are going to do X. We're going to summon. I'm going to go to Exocraft. I am going to drop my Colossus literally right here. And then I'm going to step back inside before my little protection bar goes away. Yep, I knew it. Dang it. I didn't make it in time. Took a little bit of damage. Oh, well, it is what it is. My health will come back up in just a few minutes. Now, I should, because I brought in the Colossus, I should have, yes, I have pure ferrite. Because the easiest thing for me to do is to drop one of these little pre-made buildings, put a door on it, and then I can just stand inside. But if you notice, the pure ferrite required for the cylindrical room is 250. If I drop the deep water one, it's only 180 pure ferrite. So there's a little hack. You can still get the cylindrical room, and it has all the windows on it for 180 pure ferrite. Same thing with the square room. Has all the windows on it for 180 pure ferrite instead of 250. So just a little building hack there. So I'm going to drop the cylindrical. Let me go into fly mode. For me, fly mode is B. And I want to place this, I'm going to place this over here because I don't necessarily plan on building on this side of the portal. And I don't care what color it is because it's not going to stay. Then I could put a door on it. We're literally just going to put a cheap door on it. Drop that right there. Perfect. Door opened wide for me. Now I can actually go over here, stand in this building. I should not be in my way while building. And I'm protected. See, my extreme storm went back up. However, let me go in and let me charge my weapon because it wants me to charge that first, and life support. Bam. There we go. Life support is built. Now I am going to take down that building over there. And I'm going to move some of the items out here where I'm at, but I can do all of that while I fly. So let me go into build mode. Let me just pick an item. It doesn't matter, any item. There we go. That'll be a good item. I'm going to hit B to go into fly mode. Now you can see at the top of the screen, a little bar. It tells you what you can do. And toggle camera for me is the letter B on my keyboard. You can see it's the second to the last on the right. So that way you can see what yours is to fly if you're on console. And then I am going to move a lot of these items over to that building. Now to move this, what I want to do is I want to hit C to do the edit mode. While I'm in C, you can see at the very top of the screen, the first option is to move. So I can actually move that item. Now, when I move items that are wired, they become unwired. So I can just, I guess, drop that where I stand, even though I'm standing almost on top of it, but that'll be fine. I'll just put it right there, and I'm going to move all the rest of these items. Alrighty, there we go. I moved everything over. I'm going to go ahead and power the fuel. Use some of that condensed carbon. I am also going to summon in my Minotaur. If I can get to the summon. There. And the Minotaur. Is he gonna... Apparently I can't summon him on the teleporter. All right, let me hop back in my Colossus real quick. And then hop out so it is my active. Is he gonna just stand there? That's fine. Whatever. He can just stand there. All right. Now, let me get to taking down all of that. Oh, I'm going to have to move my ship. I can see my ship is over there. You move my ship over here. There we go. Just call that in over there. Now, I'm going to stand in here and I'm going to start demolishing the other building. So let me just pick something to build with. Something I know I'm going to build with, I think. And then we're going to come right over here and we're going to take all of this down. We're going to hit C and just start removing all of the items. There we go. Now we're back to square one at the portal. Now you can see I can only go so far back. I would have to move again to be able to get farther back that way. But I want to put a deep water chamber over here. I want to try and get close enough. There we go. If you get close enough in fly mode at the portal, the little terminal will pop up. Now before I place that, I want to change the color. We're going to get to my purple and yellow. I'm going to leave it the concrete. Do I want to use the... Let me check. No, I don't want to use those. I do like the wood sometimes though. But I don't know that it looks good on this planet. So we're going to stick with the purple and yellow in concrete. And then I'm going to place that right there. Now that I have this little building built, I can come over here so I am centrally located in my build, as long as I'm not trying to place something under my feet. And then as you saw, I can get in and out of here just fine. I am protected while I'm charging my terminal. And then of course I have access out the other side. So let me stand to one side. We even have the little pillars right here that they float once you charge. So that'll be kind of neat inside. Oh, another incoming storm. Alrighty, so now let's start working on the different portions of the base. Alrighty, so we've got our building down. We've got our stairs coming up here on each side. This is going to lead up to a main area here, typically where I'm going to put my teleporter, my save beacon, probably my refiners and stuff, and all of that up here. Now, I do like to use combinations of the pre-built buildings and the other building types, you know, floors and stuff like that, to link them together. So then this back room here, this is what I'm planning on being the portal room. So the only thing that'll be in there is the actual portal. Let me just take a walk up these stairs here. Aha, I see that that's going to be an issue. All right, so I'm going to have to do something else with the entrance. But back here in this back area is going to be the portal. So the only thing in here is going to be the portal. It'll be linked, it'll be stuck right there on that center area. And then of course I put up the undersea cylindrical. That way all the windows were up. That way it gives it a nice appearance and everything. Let me see what I can do with this front door here. Alrighty, so there we go. I fixed the front door to where I'm not tripping on it anymore. So basically all I did was stack. Let me step inside so I'm not being taken advantage of the heat. So I use this small alloy panel here. Let me go into fly mode. And then what I did was stack those. It says I don't have any more ferrite dust. I think I'm too far away from my Colossus, which is fine. I can move it a little bit closer. Matter of fact, let me remove these so I can kind of show you what I did. So this is my original piece. This bottom piece here is my original, not the green one. Don't look at the green one. And then as you can see, I can take the green one. Let me link that. Let me flip that around so we have our design going the right way. And as you can see, I can kind of stack it on that, and it raises it about half the distance of the block. So half the thickness of the block. Now granted, I can rotate it with my mouse a little bit and kind of get it as lined up as I can. Kind of like that. Now I'm going to hit V. Top of the screen, it's really hard to see because of the light right now, but it says toggle free placement. I want to hit V, so free placement is enabled now. So now when I move, it's not going to lock to another piece. It's going to let me place it where I want to. So then I'm going to place that one, and then I'm going to go back just a little bit farther, and again, place it where you can just see half the thickness of the block, and then place it one more time. And then that should allow me to walk through this unobstructed. Alrighty, so I have added 6 growing crop areas, 6 of the biodomes. That way I can grow whatever crops I want to grow to help me do whatever it is that I'm planning on doing in here. Don't really have a plan yet. I just know that I want to kind of build a proper base. That way I can have a comfortable place to come to, use the portal, gather materials, maybe grow some plants. I can expand this out farther if I wanted to. So I could remove this end biodome and extend this hallway out a little bit more. That way I can add more biodomes and more crops for whatever it is that I want to do. Now, if you have a living ship, having these biodomes is really nice because you can plant Mordite in here. Mordite is one of the items that you need to power one of the components in your living ship. So having a Mordite farm isn't a far-fetched idea. Now I've got my storage area laid out here. So right out front of the main portion of the base, you can come down the stairs and go to the right. There's going to be a little open area here, probably put decorations or something in there. This back area here, I'm probably going to have all my refiners back in here. And then I've got a total of 10 locations for each of the storage containers, because you have storage containers 0 through 9. So I have a square for each of the storage containers. And then what I will do is I will build up the building around them. That way it's all enclosed. That way I'm protected from the weather while I'm inside working and things like that. Alrighty, so I've got the exterior walls up. I've got all of the storage units in. I've got some of my colors going on the inside and everything. I added these little doors so when you get close to them, obviously they would open. Now, granted, I'm in fly mode, so they're not going to open right now. But you can actually still access the storage through the door. So even if the door doesn't open, like you could probably stand in the middle of the room and access all of these doors from the middle of the room, because I believe you're close enough to do so. And then, of course, we're going to have my little refining room here. Ignore that little floating block. This allows me to fly and show you what we're doing. But now I've got to work on adding the ceiling on this. So let me go ahead and get some ceiling going on here, figure out what kind of design I want to do, and I'll show you when I'm done. Alrighty, folks, I ran out of ferrite dust working on my storage building. So I thought I had quite a bit of ferrite dust when I started, but I am clearly using lots of it. So I'm back on my paradise planet with my hut base, gathering some more ferrite dust, and then I'll go back to working on finishing the storage. And then gosh dang it, dude, Can you back off just a little bit? Personal space. Then I'll go back to working on my storage building, which it's just about done. I got to work on the roof on one of the second areas. And then I'm going to start working on maybe the landing pads. So I'm thinking about adding maybe 2 landing pads. I don't think I need a ton, because there's nothing to land on them but me. So maybe I'll only just put 1. That makes more sense as far as materials go. But anyway, let me gather some more ferrite dust and I'll get back to work. Alrighty, we are back at the base, working on the roof line here. Now, I like this kind of style for the roof, to where it kind of overlaps and gives it a ton of definition. The only problem is I've got a bunch of different angles to work with, and sometimes it's a little bit difficult. So let's see, I've got to add, got to add in a wall here. Now granted, there is a wall there, but I'm going to have to take that wall out because it sits lower than these other walls, and I'm going to have to try and get it in there some way to where it, come on, I just saw it. Nope. Up. Alrighty, I'm gonna have to put in one of these small alloy walls for this other wall to sit on. Now this is all temporary. This is strictly so I can get, oops, I keep getting caught. This is strictly so I can get these roof lines. Let me see if I can put that in as well. Come on. There. Now you can see, let me see here. Now that wall I just put in has a gap in the bottom of it. Right at the bottom, it's hard to see. Let me get this. There you go. That clips right in the bottom of it. So there's a gap in the bottom of that, but the top is level. That's what I'm wanting right there. That way I can place these last 2 roofing pieces. And placing these pieces are very peculiar. So, come on. I might have to remove this ceiling piece to get that to clip. Come on. I know you want to. It's there. It really is. Sometimes you have to come from inside to get it. There. Okay, now let's see if I can get, because I had to remove these 2 side pieces. There's that one. And there's that one. Okay, good. that was difficult. But when you're building and you got clip motions and everything else, it can be a little bit funky, but it does work. Whoops, did not mean to double click that. I need to go back into roofing because I want to put this flat alloy roof back up, which goes right there. So that's that hallway, and then I can come back down into here. I can fix or remove that wall, and then I can come back in here. I know it's hard to see, I'm flying around and stuff, but the wall behind this refiner needs to drop down that little quarter block right there. So we're going to remove that, and then remove that quarter block. And then if you've noticed, these walls, the tops of them are yellow, and then in here, these are actually purple. A little harder to see because there's no real light in here, but I need to have that purple color back. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into anything that can be colored, and then I'm going to choose that. I'm going to hit the G to color it. Now I've been using this purple yellow and the wood tone. That way I can right click out of that, and then right click one more time, go back into the walls. I'm using this alloy top wall here. I can select that, and then once I get that placed, you can see that it is now the purple, just like the one next to it. You cannot choose these vibrant colors in this palette for the wall floor pieces. in order to get these vibrant colors like that on this alloy frame, then you have to choose something else that can be colored, like the prefab materials. That's usually my go-to. Go to the prefab materials, because you can hit color, you can see what it is very clearly, and then you can choose whatever color you want, whatever material you want. Now, it doesn't necessarily show the material, it's just the color. But that way you can go into the color that you want, right click back out of it, and then go back into the alloy or whatever material you're using. Now, the color on the carbon materials is kind of funky. So I tend to keep the carbon materials the carbon color. So if you're using color and you have to go back to the original color, exit all the way out of the building menu, and then reopen the building menu, it resets the color. And then once you got kind of the gist of how to do the roofing, it kind of goes pretty quickly. But that way you can get a little bit of different style roofing going. And I just recommend playing with the different parts and stuff. If you're new to building in No Man's Sky, just play with it. I mean, it's really simple to get some really neat designs and stuff that aren't really hard to achieve. Now I'm putting some little flags on top of here just for a little bit of decoration. Now you can change the size of your flags. You can actually see the little toolbar just above the center of the screen, that if you look at the 6th block over from left to right, it says scale. Now there are certain items in the game, certain building items, decorating items, that you can scale to size. Now mine says R and F, so I can actually make it smaller. You actually start out in a small flag, and then of course I've made it into a big flag. And then I can place it. Obviously you can also use G for color. Now if you're on console, it's going to give you different commands. And then you can place that. Now I've obviously used the purple to stick with the purple theme that I am using on my base, but I've added a couple of small and large flags on the storage. And then if I get out of here, now granted, I haven't put any lights in here yet. That's all going to be a little bit later, because I still got to get power and stuff over here. But when you come in the door here, let me start from outside. So it's storming a little bit right now, which it's done several times. But we can come in the door here. It'll be a little like reception room here. You got a little hallway that goes straight into the refining area. Now I'm going to end up moving the refiners from the first base over here. I don't see any sense in having additional refiners at the first base, because chances are I'll rarely ever go back there. So I'm going to bring the refiners back over here. I'll probably even bring the consoles, so where we purchase all of the different upgrades and stuff like that. I may bring the consoles over here. I may add extra consoles over here. I don't know. Haven't quite thought that far out yet, but we've got all of our storage in here. You can see that I was able to access that storage before the door opened. So you walk in, the door opens for each one. The only downside to that is if you rely on the numbers, you can kind of see the number right there. The door would open just enough. There we go. You can see that's a number 7 right there. You can't really see the numbers, but I have numbered them, you know, accordingly. So I believe I started with 0 over here. Is that right? Yeah. So when I come in, this is coming in from the front door, my 0 through 4 is on the right, my 5 through 9 is on the left. Now granted, the more I use this base, the more I'll remember where those storages are. And then if you're good at your storage management, you'll have a set item in each of these storages, and you'll like, oh, I need to go and get carbon, and you'll go straight to whichever one you have carbon in. Now, granted, we're in abandoned mode. We're not going to have a freighter, at least as far as we have right now. We don't have freighters. But from base to base, your storages will all be the same once you set them up. Alrighty, so again, I've got to remove my Colossus and I have to move... Oh my gosh, the storm is ridiculous. I've got to move my... My flooring is having a bit of a clipping issue. Hopefully once I reload, that'll stop. But I've got to move my ship as well because I want to add my landing pad over here. Good, so it's not Superstorm now, it's just Extreme. This is kind of a crappy planet because everything is so dark. Like there's this cloud of darkness in front of me constantly. So I've kind of picked a really crappy planet to build on to be able to showcase, but it is what it is. Let me move my stuff so I can continue building. Alrighty, so I got my landing pad done. Now, in order to get your landing pad to clip nicely to a structure, a lot of times I put a doorway because it'll clip to the doorway with this pattern on it. But once I remove the doorway, then it goes back to this sloped pattern. But that's fine. I don't necessarily need the doorway. I just wanted to place it properly. What am I looking for? I am looking for... Let's do a little runway here. There. So that will actually run right over to the landing pad. Do I want to do it that way? Yeah. And then I can put some little ledges here leading right up to that. Now, those have a hard edge on them. So what I can do is I can actually extend the railing a little bit to where it goes right into the landing pad. So now if I come out of my little building here, frickin' storm again, I can walk right up to my landing pad. And then you'll also, whoops. And then you'll also notice that I actually utilize some of the supports for the pre-made structures, just like I used right here. I used some of that underneath the landing pad. Now, this can be a little bit tricky to get sometimes, so what I typically do is I place my landing pad, and then I go into the little pre-made structures here, and I usually grab like the biodome because it's somewhat small, and then I line it up. If you look at the circles on the landing pad, I line up the... Let me get free placement going here. So I line up the biodome in those little dots. You can see there's 2 dots, 2 dots, 2 dots all the way around that outer light color circle on the landing pad, and then I place it there, and then I can go from underneath with this to clip underneath, so because it'll clip to the bottom of the biodome. And then I can take that down to the floor, or you can use the stilts as well. So the little stilts, if you wanted to use the stilts. Otherwise, you can do something else under there to make it look like it's supported. Now, the game does not have building gravity, so things can float. It's just a look is all. I'm going to place some of these lanterns here, so I'll show you again. They're in the decoration. I believe you can pick these up for like 1 salvage data or something in the building terminal. But I'm literally going to take these and kind of recess them a little bit so you don't see the handle on top, but yet they do shine light. This is also one of those items that you can change the size of. Like I'm going to shrink that one just a little bit, sneak it back in that corner. I like these little lights because they're cheap and easy lighting. They don't actually require power, even though they say they do. See, it says 1 volt right there in the top. of the tooltip for it there on the right hand side of the screen, but it really doesn't. Because as you can see, they're lighting up right now, so I don't, there is no need for power. Alrighty, folks. Well, I'm sitting in my Minotaur right now trying to evade the extreme storm, but I've got the central location for my power supply. It was literally down the hill. You can see my base is just up the hill a little bit there. So I was really close to a power supply. It is only going to be a B class power supply, but it's going to be plenty for this particular base. So once this storm breaks again, that way I can kind of build a little structure down here and start putting my power terminals on it. Alrighty, I got the notice that the storm was clearing, so let's go ahead and hop back out and see if I can get some more of this building built. I do need some more of my ferrite dust, which is in my Colossus, so I'll just summon that dude right there. Oh, why do you have to be right in the way? Let's get you out of the way. Come on. Move, 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 move. Alrighty, so I built me a little base for my power terminals and stuff, but I got a little door in here. That way I can stand inside and build, because I know I'm going to have another couple of storms before this is all over. Now I should, with any luck, have everything I need. Yes, I got my electromagnetic generators. That way I can drop a few of these down and start wiring them up, and I can start getting power up to the base. Make sure that I've got them colored. Yes, I do have them colored. Then I can try and line that up as close as I can to center. Just like that. And then what I'll do is I'll go around each one of these triangles and place another one. But we'll place these here, there, there, and there. And then I'll go grab me a little bit of wire, and we're gonna wire from here, and then from there to there. We don't have to circle back to that last one, but now everything is what am I trying to think of? Powered. Now let's do some kind of a little decoration around this as well. Let's see if I can do what I'm thinking about doing here. Yeah, that'll work. And flip it around. Is that going to work the way I want it to? I think it might. Just to give it a little funness there. There we go. Perfect. That'll do good. Now I got to get up the hill with power, but I can't be in fly mode. So let's grab the power supply. Let's link to something on this side. Yeah, I know, it's falling. Come on, we got to get up the hill. Preferably quicker than this. And then what I can do is I can literally drop this like right at the base of that, and then I can go inside. Let's get out of build mode so I can see how much extreme crap I'm losing. Because this is a bit of a challenge to build on this. Okay, now I can go in, I can grab my power node. I'm protected. I don't have to worry about losing hazard protection. And then I can go back out here and find the corner. Yep, there's the corner that I put it on. So what I can do is I can come up here, I can grab this, and then I can literally take it up like on the inside of that little pillar there and put just a little line running up that, because I don't know that I have the little thing that hides the power. So then I can run this to the inside just below this guy right here. So it'll kind of hide in the floor a little bit. Place another one and another one, and the base is now powered, or at least this portion of the base is powered. Now the storage units are still not powered because I have to connect this base to the storage units and then again to this little building down here, because you can see the little line is red. It is not powered. So what I can do is I can grab, say, this, bring it down like underneath the base just a little bit. And now I'm kind of underground dragging this. So that way you won't necessarily see it. Where's that node that there it is. Now let's see if I can reach this. Too close to Starship. Of course it is. You dadgummit. Okay, we're gonna go the other way. So what we're gonna do, since we are still underground, you can kind of see that it's underground. I am going to snag this right inside here under this base for here. Then I can do the same thing, drag it from that base over to this base. Still kind of keeps me underground a little bit, and then I can kind of tuck it underneath here a little bit so it's not as visible. Then I can pull this up. If I want to, I can remove one of these panels and bring it up inside, but I don't necessarily think I have to. I can bring it up to where it's like right underneath, and I can clip that right there and then right into the power for one of those storage units. And then I'll do the same thing here. Let's kind of drag it across. Let's go to the back side. This is because I want to be on the back side. If it is visible, it's not super visible. Oh, dang it. Too many clicks. All right, so now we've got this one here. We're going to connect to that, and then we're going to connect to one storage unit. Now I'll connect to the rest of the storage units in a little bit, but we're going to connect to this unit, and we're going to drag this all the way across over here, because we should still be somewhat underground the majority of the way. So it's not going to be super visible. So we'll connect that there. Do we see a blue line? We do not see a blue line on the ground. That's good. So that building's powered now. All of these buildings are powered now. And that one, what am I trying to think of? Storage unit is powered. So now we can go from the side of one storage unit to the side of another storage unit and power those just through the walls here. And those connections will not be seen from outside. So I can bring the stuff from that building and put it in this building. I know, it's always a storm. There's always a frickin' storm on this planet. So now let's just grab anything, go into fly mode, then I can bring this teleporter over. So I'm gonna hit C to go into edit. And then I'm gonna face the little teleporter. I'm gonna right click so I can move it. And I'm gonna bring it up and put it where I want it in this building, which is gonna be this back room here. And it is powered. So I've got most everything built the way I kind of want it. I got a storage unit. I've got some areas to put plants, which I'm going to do later. and then upload everything. But let me go into camera mode here. That way I can show you guys the stuff without getting out of the base there. So we've got our little portal here. We are protected to where we can charge the portal in that little prefab room there. I've got my landing pad. Again, words are hard as normal. And then of course I've got my storage units over here. I'm going to start adding lights and stuff like that to the outside. That way it's a little better, it's a little more visibly appealing, I guess. Which we have 0 storms right now. It's like not black or anything. Holy cow. This is great looking. You can see my power down below. My Colossus is parked right next to it there, but you can see my power down below. And then of course I've got my little biodome, so I can start planting mordite or whatever I want to plant in there. I'm not sure what I'm going to put in there because I'm not really going to be using my living ship because it's really not practical because I can't upgrade it in abandoned mode. I can't get upgrades for it. I can't get storage upgrades for it because we don't have freighters. So it's kind of impractical to use that. Oh, I forgot to put that. So because we used the underwater base, that has a flat top on it, as opposed to the square one where it has the dome top on it. So what we can do, let me go back into fly mode. Let me get a little closer because I don't know that I can build that far away from myself. So let me go into fly. Let me do this. What we're going to do is we'll put a dome on top of it. So we can put a dome on top of it. Let me make sure I got the right colors going and everything. I just put a dome on top of it for decoration. Now that dome will sit up higher than the others. As you can see, that sits up a little bit higher than the other domes. Then what we can do is let's put some flags around it or on it here. Let's just go with this flag here. We should still be the right color. And which way do I have those flags going? They're going that way. Okay, so you can find the center, make sure that we got the right color. And then we can make it a little bigger, however big we want to make it. And then drop that down there. And there we go. We got a flag that sits up above that. So that way it's a little bit, it's got a little more decoration and stuff to it. But there we go. That's my little portal base here. If you guys are wanting to visit this portal base, I will leave the address. Matter of fact, I'll go ahead and I'll give you the address. If you guys want to visit, that'd be great. What am I trying to do? Camera mode. There it is. There it is. I'm like, why is it not showing the address? You can see the address down there in the bottom left of the screen. That way, if you are in abandoned mode and you do have your 16 glyphs and you want to come and visit the base, you can. Once I have everything up, you can even utilize the plants or whatever that I have in here. Now, the storages are obviously not going to be my storages. When you open storages, they're going to be your storages, but you'd have access to your storage and stuff here as well. And if you wanted to, you can even utilize the portal. You'll have access to that. But there we go. I built an official base. That way we're not living in a hut. On some weird planet. However, the other planet is definitely nicer to build on because I don't have to worry about the hazards. Now, this one here was a little bit challenging. I can tell you, I'm right at 3 hours. I recorded the whole thing. Now, granted, what you're seeing is going to be an edited version because obviously you guys don't want to watch me build this for 3 hours. So, but I wanted to kind of show you a little bit of what I was doing and explain a few different things and everything on how I was building. Alrighty folks, if you guys enjoyed this video, definitely click that like button. Again, I appreciate everybody who comes and watch my videos and does leave a like and subscribes. Thank you very much. There are links in the description to my Twitter and my Discord. If you guys want to do more for the channel, there are links down there for that as well. If you'd like me to visit your base in abandoned mode or even in normal or whatever, feel free to let me know below. You can join the Discord and you can share your addresses or whatever over there. I'd be more than happy to come and check out your bases wherever they are. I do have a permadeath, a normal play, and the abandoned mode play. Now, my abandoned mode is on permadeath. So if you're playing in a normal setting on abandoned mode, chances are I won't be able to see your base. That's the only save I don't have is abandoned mode normal. But if you're in abandoned mode permadeath and you want to visit this, visit the address that I shared earlier. If you want me to visit your bases, just let me know in the comments. But otherwise, I appreciate everybody joining me today. You folks take care and happy hunting.